Hi there, Spitfire here with Game Mode 5, and today I'm going to show you how to build a mob grinder. Now this might be kind of scary, but just stick with me because I think there's a mob grinder right around here somewhere. Or not a mob grinder, but one of those, ooh, bats. Okay. So the charade is over. Now this is actually a set that I've built for a specific purpose. We are going to be building a mob grinder. Actually, there's a couple reasons I did this. I wanted to kind of show off the floor plan of your average mob grinder, or rather dungeon, the way you find it. I also wanted to show that there are two separate types of mob grinder that you can build. There's this kind, where you have the spawner and the chests and all that. There's also the dark room spawner. They both have their merits, and this tutorial will deal with the mob grinder type down there. But we will probably cover the dark room later, or at a later time. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some preliminary steps on what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and cut to that. Alright, the very first thing that I always do anytime I'm building a spawner that deals with, or a grinder that deals with a spawner, is the room that you find your mob grinder, the spawner, in. You want to go ahead and remove the floor. The reason you want to remove the floor is because you want there to be space underneath the spawner for water to run. So we will go ahead and remove this. Now normally in survival you would not be able to single hit these blocks. These are great to keep, by the way. They are awesome. And what we're going to do is any block that we place, we're going to place iron blocks so that we can differentiate between what was already here and what we're adding. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we actually are going to lower the floor by one. Go away, pig. Good. Pig, go away. No one likes you. We are going to lower the floor by one. At least one. You can do two if you would really like to. That's really entirely up to you. Alright. And there are a few variations on this same design. And for the most part, it's all the same. Whether you use pistons to start and stop the water, or whatever, that's really up to you. I'm not really sure why you would ever want to use pistons to stop the water, but that is an option if you want a mob grinder that you can start and or stop. Alright, so we've replaced the floor. Now, this particular dungeon that we're using is a 7x7. They also come in, I believe, 5x5 and 3x3 variations. I'm not sure if 3x3 is still a thing. Anyways, so the very first thing that you'll want to do is make sure that you've closed off your room. We're going to go ahead. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Any blocks we place are going to be iron. There we go. So that is a block placed by us. Alright, so the very first thing you want to do, make sure you're working with a closed off room. If you're doing this in survival, you will want to torch the entire room. Make sure that you're working in a safe environment. Alright, now you will want to get a bucket of water and make sure that you have a bucket of water placed on either corner of the room. Now what you're going to end up with is this odd V shape. Alright? So you will want to go ahead and you don't have to remove this entire wall. I'm going to because I think it looks a little bit better, and we'll show you how to get this to flow where you want it. Anyways, So, first thing you want to do is go ahead and remove just the blocks that are underneath the water. And then you can remove the blocks that are like that. Now, you will notice by removing the center block, the block that lines up with the mob spawner, everything flows into this block. So, for instance, if I were to throw out items, you will see that they actually start to flow in this direction, and mobs are no different. They're going to also flow in this direction. The only difference is mobs try to float. That's the only difference there. Alright, so now that we have everything going where we want it to, we can start funneling it appropriately. So we're going to place this back, build ourselves this wall, curse the day that slimes were added to the game. Definitely gonna do that. I hate tutorials that go like this. I always told myself if I ever did a tutorial where I was fighting with animals, I was gonna kill myself. But, you know, here I am, not killing myself. I'm sure sometime by the end of this tutorial I'll kill myself. Anyway, so, we'll go ahead and block this up. Alright. Now, we have our shape. Now, all that there is to do is to set up our elevator. Now, the reason that we will be putting the mobs through an elevator is because we have to raise them before dropping them. Unless you find a mob spawner that is high up enough to not require it. That's very, very rare. So, anyways, so here's what we end up with. We will need signs. Alright. And let's go ahead and get our signs. Now, the thing about signs is you're going to want to place one every other block. Like this. And alternating. Okay, once you have that done, it's a really good idea to go ahead and close off the elevator so that mobs don't try escaping back towards the spawner. And what we're going to do is take our bucket of water, and we are going to make sure that we don't do that. Here we go. Yes. Alright, make sure you're not flowing water back into the spawner. We are going to place water all the way up. Now, we're going to go up about 20 blocks. Maybe higher, it depends on your design. I'm going to go ahead, and finish that and cut to it. Alright, so what you should notice here is I've placed a glass wall so you can see what's going on. Now, there's a few different variations on this design. One only uses a single-sided elevator, and that design works perfectly well. However, I find this to be a bit more productive. That's really just based on my own observations. So, yeah, there you go. Alright, so here's what you're going to end up with. If we spawn in, I will use a zombie as an example. We spawn in. Well, we're going to need some darkness. Let me go ahead and darken this up. Then we'll spawn in a couple of zombies. And see if I can save that zombie's life. Save your life, zombie. No, apparently not. Alright, so, as soon as we get this blocked up, spawn in a couple of zombies. Now, as you can notice, just like with the ender pearls, they are making their way right there, and they will unlike the ender pearls, they'll actually make the trip going up. We can see that here. The great thing about this design is multiple zombies can climb at the same time. And see, they are in fact climbing at different speeds. That's just part of the game. Some climb higher and better than others. Alright, so once they get to the top, we're actually going to kill these, and then we're going to build the next part of this. Alright, and let's cut to that. Alright, as soon as you have the main elevator completed, what you'll want to do is you'll want to construct a hallway for them to travel away from your given position here. You want to actually move them toward the mob spawner itself, because this will only spawn mobs if you're within a certain distance from it. So, what we should have here is... Let's go ahead and drop you. Okay, so here we have an instant kill. As soon as the mob drops, he is killed instantly. Now, I believe the distance is 20 blocks, where the kill is not instant for an unarmed, unarmored zombie. Let's try this. There we go. He actually does have just a little bit of health left on him. And that's where we want it. Like I said, I believe the distance is 20, but we shall test that out now. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting that block there.
3. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
19. 20. Beautiful. Perfect. So, once you have your 20 block drop, go ahead and create a shaft for them to fall in, because you don't want them trying to get at other players or anything on the way down. We're going to go ahead and create that off screen, and I will come back as soon as I can. Alright, so what we've done is we've constructed a pit for them to fall in. And it goes all the way down, 20 blocks. And I will demonstrate how this works for you. We'll go ahead and spawn in some zombies, because, you know, these spawners don't really work in creative. Let's go ahead and spawn in as many of these guys as we can. And we will put our ceiling back on. Now, this is where you're going to want to AFK, because it's right on top of the spawner. You're definitely close enough. And what's going to happen is these guys are going to go all the way up. And I will put final block counts on the screen. Should be annotated right up there, as far as how high you go up. Now over, this is 8. Just basically until the water stops. That's a really easy thing to do. When the water stops, that's when you stop. Okay? And as you can see, they are falling to their death. They're also glitching a little bit. Now, this is entirely safe. The great thing about this is, if they don't have armor, you can kill these guys with an unenchanted stone sword. And because zombies drop potatoes and carrots now, this is really, really overpowered. If you want to get a little extra fancy with the redstone, you can actually place a redstone or a piston right over there to push any drops to you that you might be missing. Of course, with a grinder like this, you're looking at quite a bit of output. So, you know, a little bit of zombie flesh that you're missing isn't going to kill anyone. That is, unless you eat too much. Anyways, so yeah, that is this spawner type. There should be a world download in the description below. If you have any other questions, comments, matters of concern, let me know in the comments. Let me know, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And what do you want to see next? Till next time, I'm Spitfire with Game Mode 5. Like, subscribe, comments, please. Hopefully in a video in the future, I'll show you how these spawners work. The dark room spawners. Yes!